Hi, I'm Beth with 50 Plus Beauty, and I'm so glad you're here with me today to get ready for my date night out with my husband Alan tonight. And it's a mix of high-end and drugstore. If you're not a subscriber, I hope you'll go ahead and subscribe and click the little bell so you'll be notified of my future videos. That way you won't miss anything. This is the look that I'll be creating for you, and it's kind of a chatty get ready with me, so I apologize for that. So let me take off this makeup and we'll get started. Okay, you can tell I already have some foundation on. I put on my sunblock and all my primers, my eyelid and my face primers, and I was going to go ahead and put on the foundation, but I decided, heck, to go ahead and let you guys participate in that a little bit. I'm using the Lacome Teint Idole Ultra Wear Foundation, which I really do like this foundation. And I'm going in with my Artiste Dupe brush, which I really like. Just kind of spread that all around. This brush is fantastic at getting the foundation in all the little nooks and crannies, but you do need to be careful and just take a watch on it and make sure that you've gotten it everywhere, because it feels so smooth on your face that sometimes you find out you have missed a spot. A little mascara there. That's fun. Well, this is my husband and my little Wednesday date night that we try to do every week. The first Wednesday of the month, we actually do a soup kitchen, which we've done for like 12 years. So we do have to do that the first Wednesday. The other three are for us. And what we do is we have this movie theater in town, which is a great movie theater. And it has a downtown theater that on Wednesday nights actually has $5 movie night. So we like to save money. So we get a $5 movie night and we eat chicken nachos, which are wonderful. And I do cheat a little bit on my paleo diet on Wednesday nights, because that's kind of a fun thing that we do, and I don't seem to have any joint repercussions from that, because I did go on that paleo autoimmune for my joints, and now I'm really more just on the paleo, which is meats, fruits, vegetables, nuts, and very little sugar. I am not perfect on that diet now because my joint pain did go away, which was a wonderful thing. And so now I just kind of watch the gluten, and I'm pretty good on it. Okay, there we go. There's the foundation. Now the next step, I'm going to go in under the eyes with a little e.l.f. Hydrating Under Eye Primer. And I really do like this. It kind of softens the little lines at the corners of your eyes, which we all get as we get to be a little more grown up. There we go. Plus it feels nice. Now to conceal under the eyes, I'm going to go in with a little bit of Benefit Erase Paste, and this is the small travel size, and I believe the name has changed on this, but it is really good if you have some real issues under your eyes that you like to cover up. I have this little red spot over here that is very hard to cover, and I'm going to the dermatologist. Here in my town, there aren't many dermatologists, like maybe just a handful. And so I got on the list maybe 3 months ago, and I don't get in for another month and a half. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. I've never really done this, but I think at our age, at our wonderful grown-up age, it's always good with all of the sun exposure that we've all had, because, you know, I don't think sunblock really existed much when we were kids. My parents would send me out to the pool at 8 in the morning and come pick me up at 4, and I'd be a little brown raisin by the end of the day, and nobody cared. But they do say that even 1 or 2 bouts of sunburn can perhaps give you melanoma or precancer someday. So I'm going to go ahead and have the dermatologist do a full body checkup of all my little spots to make sure they're all okay. That's always a good thing to do in the second half, is to check yourself out and make sure you're still in good working order. Okay, there is that concealer. And one thing I've learned, and I probably should have done this from the beginning, is I do like to use a little bit of a concealer brush just to kind of smooth things out. I think that that does help. Do it down there. Now for a little powder, I'm going to go into the IT Bye Pores, which looks scrubby. That is one thing I do not like about these non-pressed powders. They get everywhere, and I don't like a mess if I can help it. In my makeup room, I have to say, you will see it soon because I'm going to do a video about it, but it can get kind of messy because there's a lot of makeup around here. Now, because this is a special date night, I'm going to use my special eyeshadow palette, and I have really come to love this palette. It was an impulse purchase that I did at the first of my YouTube venture, and I can't believe I let another YouTuber talk me into doing this. She said this was only for eyeshadow connoisseurs, which I'm definitely not. But you know, I really do like it, and I've been using it for a while now. It's a Tom Ford eyeshadow palette, and it comes in this wonderful little brown suede pouch. And that's how the little thing looks. I guess you'd rather see the eyeshadows. than the pretty Tom Ford on it. Well, and that's how the little Tom Ford palette looks. It's just a very nice neutral palette. I have been using this palette over the past few months on and off, and I really do like it. These shadows go on so buttery. They're just absolutely beautiful little shadows. There is something to be said for a high-end shadow. But again, I would not run out and buy this, ladies, because this palette was like $80. And that's kind of crazy. But every now and then you gotta splurge. I don't know why I started with brow. It just seemed easiest. Now we're gonna go in and put that same color on the lid. It's very highly pigmented, but it's also very buttery. And I was making a mistake there. You're not supposed to drag. You're supposed to pat. Always tap off your brush. There is a little bit of fallout with these, not too bad. Now I'm also going to go in and get the darkness right beside the nose. Just kind of lighten that up. Other side. Now we're going to go in and do the transition, and I'm using my MAC 221 brush, and we will just go in with this lighter brown shade that's right here. Kind of roll that in there. So far I am in love with this MAC 221 transition brush. I just have not found anything that puts the color in there that I like quite as well. It's a little bit of a wider brush, and so that surprises me that I like it, but you need a little bit of width in your transition because you're blending between your lid and your eyebrow. So you want a little bit of width. It almost blends it out a little bit as it goes. It's a little bit like a fluffy blender brush in addition to a transition brush. Okay, now because it's a date and because I'm me, let's add a little more drama to that. I am just all about the drama. These are the Essence of Beauty fine crease brushes, and they come in a package of 2, and they're very inexpensive. You can find them online. They'll be listed below. But there's a crease brush and a fine crease brush. Little tiny brushes, like they're a little short, so I keep them in their package so I don't lose them. But let's go in on that outer V and just do a little bit of this color right here. Tap off the brush, just a little bit out there. And then we're going to take it a little bit up into the crease, define that crease a little more. About the outer third of the eye is where you're going. Just pat that baby on there. I have been married to my husband Alan for 35 years in September, which is a wonderful, wonderful thing. And you know, it's funny, I never believed the older couples that would tell me, you know, when I first got married years ago, they would be old and wrinkled. And when I was in my 20s, being old and wrinkled was not something I thought would ever happen to me. They would always say, you know, you love him now, but you'll love him so much more, you know, at 20 years and 30 years and 40 years of marriage. And I always thought, you know, how is that possible? We're going to be old and wrinkled. But the reality is, the first 20 years can be a little tough at times. I mean, you're dealing with money and getting your household set up and children and all of this other stuff. So the first 20 years whiz by, but you have a few problems along the way and you're getting to know each other. I'm going to go ahead and blend down that brown color with the MAC 217 blender, which I really do like this. But at about the 20-year point, you look up from all that busyness, and that's about when your kids move out of the house, so you have a little more time to be introspective. You look at your husband, and I did this with Alan, and I said, oh my gosh, it's true. It's true what they say. I love him more now than I ever did before. And it's a different kind of love because you know everything about each other. And there's a real comfort in that. And that's a wonderful thing about the second half, is that we've kind of gotten through kind of the rough spots in the first 20 years of marriage, hopefully. Not everybody does. Bless you if you wish things had worked out a little bit differently. But in my case, I was one of the lucky ones, and I've got my honey, which is really nice. And I love our little movie nights, the little things we do. But I have realized, which I didn't realize so much in my first half, we had so many things on the to-do list because both of our kids were very active, one in music, one in sports. And so we were always going a zillion different directions, endless to-do lists. We didn't have a lot of time for each other, which was probably a mistake. We should have made time. In the second half, we really scheduled time with each other. And so these Wednesday nights are really special to us. In fact, I had something come up and somebody wanted me to do something which I kind of wanted to do on Wednesday nights, kind of a regular thing. And I started to do it, and then I talked to Alan, and he's like, no, you can't do that. And I realized I didn't want to do that because this is our night. Now, there's something I don't like about having so much lightness here on the lid, so I think I'm going to add a little bit of this color kind of on the inside, just a little bit, just to kind of blend that up into there. You know, this is a creative kind of thing, I've realized. You start doing it, if it doesn't look good, you kind of go in and patch things up. In fact, I decided to put more of the brown over my lid. We'll go back in with that light color. Okay, now we're going to go in under the eyes and do a little lower lash line there. Make sure to join the transition up there. Let's go in and brighten up the inner corners with a little bit of this Revlon Color Stay. It's a little e.l.f. concealer brush, which I really like that. Okay, that's that little inner corner. I'm going to go a little further, add a little dab in the middle of the upper lid with my finger. See if we can do that. Yeah, got a little bit of a dab there. A little bit of shimmer there. Then I'm going to go in and brighten up the under eye area a bit with this Wet n Wild Ultimate Brow Highlighter. And this is a really good little color to go in, kind of a nude color, to go on your lower waterline. See how it just kind of opens up the eye a little bit. Makes the whites of your eyes look a little whiter. Makes you look a little more awake, which is always good. And now on the upper line, I'm going to go ahead and do, and you can't even see this, so I'm not even going to put this up there, but this is a Kat Von D Black Eyeliner. One side done. This is a nice little eyeliner. Nice little brush. Wing it out just a little bit at the end. Nothing's ever perfect. And the thing about liquid liners is they don't have to necessarily be perfect because you're going to go in with your mascara and it conceals a multitude of sins. At least we hope so. I've just started using the liquid liners, but I really do like them. I think they're a little more dramatic and it's kind of fun. I'm going to go ahead and do the mascara off camera. Okay, the eyes are done. Now I think I'll go in and do a little bit of bronzer. I'll be using this Bronze Booster from Physicians Formula, which I really like. I think it's a cute little case too. These, even the drugstore brands have such cute things. I think I'll just kind of mix those two bottom shades together. Just kind of go in and do a little bit around the forehead, just a little bit. A little bit under the cheek. Yeah. Kind of using this a little bit as a contour. Kind of give a little color there. Now I'm going to go in with my Sigma Tapered Highlighter, and I'm going to use this lightest color here and do a little bit of a highlight in my Frankenstein divots, I call them. As we get older, we gain fat in some places and lose fat in others, and unfortunately this is an area where we lose fat. And I don't like it. I would love to have a little filler there. But we'll see. I'm always afraid. You would hate to get to the other side and long for your Frankenstein marks. Okay, now we're going to go in and do a little bit of blush, which I love this step. And this is the Tarte 12-Hour Blush in Natural Beauty. And this is the Sigma Powdered Blush brush. Tap it off. One thing about these Tarte blushes, oh my, they do last. They last all day. But you kind of have to be careful because in the very beginning, they can look quite intense. You need just the smallest amount to get your blush look. Okay, I think that may be enough. You never know. One stroke over the line, sweet Jesus, one stroke over the line. I don't know why I thought about that. Our songs stay with us forever, don't they? I don't think they meant that to be blush, but you know, whatever. Oh my gosh, it was taupe. I just realized it was taupe. Sorry, girls. Oh well, that's our generation too. Okay, now the next step is lips. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to use my favorite rosy blush tones, but I'm going to go in with this little Jordana Easy Liner for Lips lip liner in Baby Berry. That's what that looks like. So we'll go in there. Give ourselves a little lip line. I like to fill it in so that when the lipstick wears off, you still have a good look, not just a funky line there. That was always a look of an older woman to me was, you know, a cigarette. For some reason when I was young, a cigarette and lip liner that did not match the lipstick and that was drawn outside of the natural lip line. Although you can go a little bit out, which I need to. If you want your lips to appear larger, don't go down in the Cupid's bow, but kind of go across. Makes your lips look so big they just burst out of the top lip, I guess. I don't know why, but that does seem to kind of work. Now, I'm going to be going in with this L'Oreal lipstick in the color 590, which is Blushing Berry. I don't know why I showed that to you, but I do like the little gold case. I like that. And berry-colored lipsticks make our teeth look whiter, which is a wonderful thing. Now to finish it off, I'm just going to go in with a light dusting of powder. And this is my Lacome Dual Finish, and it is in the color 220 Buff. And I actually wore this in my 30s. Went away from it for a while, and then came back to it. And I really like it. It being dual finish, it's a powdered foundation, but it is also a nice little powder to kind of null out the oily look. But right now, as you can see, I've got kind of a powdery look going. I'm going to use a little bit of this e.l.f. Makeup Mist and Set to take down that powder look. Kind of shield the hair. So you can tell it gives you back a little bit of that youthful glow that pasty powder kind of took away. And plus it does help to set your makeup and keep it going longer. And this was probably like $3 or $4. e.l.f. is amazing. And a lot of their products are really very incredible. That is the makeup look for my date night out with my hubby, Allie. I'm so excited about it. If you're not a subscriber, I hope you'll go ahead and subscribe and click the little bell so you'll be notified of my future videos. That way you won't miss anything. I always like to leave you with a thought for the day, and so I'm going to go to this card deck, The Language of Letting Go. And letting go is something that I really need in my life. My first half, I really tried to control about everything, and I realized in my second half that, you know, you can control your attitude and your behavior, but you really can't control a lot of what goes on around you. For my happiness, I realized that I had to learn to let go. So I'm going to ask God and the universe to give me a card that's going to give me a good piece of advice for today. Okay, this one feels good. Releasing Fear has some people and some trees on the front of it, I guess. It says, today I will ask God to help me let go of my need to be afraid. My need to be afraid, that's interesting. I welcome peace, trust, acceptance, and safety into my life. Whew, I love that. I will make a point of listening to my healthy, rational fears and will relinquish all the others. Oh my gosh, this is a fantastic card. In the first half, I let fear kind of rule me. I had all these anxieties and worries about things in the future, most of which never ever took place. And so in my second half, I realized that's something we can all do is just, you know, the healthy fears are good ones and we need to keep those. But the ones that we can't control or do anything about, let's just release our fears, cast our cares, trust God and the universe that we'll have a fabulous second half. Take care. See you next time.